let's talk about Rubber Soul, which was a hugely influencing album, but the American and the British versions were very different from each other. This is because Capitol liked to chop up Beatles albums and reassemble them and include the singles too. And so when this one came out, they had already chopped up Help. So I added a couple of songs from Help to this, and they took some songs off of this one. So the British album had 4 songs: What Goes On, Drive My Car, Nowhere Man, and If I Needed Someone. All these songs were on the British album, but were not on the American album. The American album instead had I've Just Seen a Face and It's Only Love instead of those 4 songs. This gave this album a totally different feel in America, and as I said, this album was very influential on both sides of the pond, but to Americans, this was like a folk rock album. So let's go through the tracks. It doesn't, the British version starts off with Drive My Car, a real hard driving song. This one starts off with I've Just Seen a Face, and that's followed by Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown. And then You Won't See Me. And then George has one song on this whole album, Think for Yourself. And this is followed by The Word. And finally, Michelle. And that's the end of the first side. So let's flip it over. So side 2 starts with It's Only Love, followed by Squirrel, and then I'm Looking Through You, and then In My Life, and then Wait, and finally Run for Your Life. So totally different feel to this. It's much mellower, with especially Drive My Car, Nowhere Man, and Think for Yourself removed. Gives it a much more different sound. People thought this was a folk rock song in America, and this is the version of the album that was caused Brian Wilson to make Pet Sounds. And lots of other groups in America were influenced by this American version, which I don't have an LP copy of, because when I bought all the early Beatles LPs, I didn't get this one because I thought in December of 2025 there would be a 60th anniversary deluxe version, and there wasn't. So I don't have this. So when it gets warmer, I'll go to the used record stores and see if I can find a stereo version of the American version of Rubber Soul and a stereo version of Yesterday and Today. So anyway, this is a really, really good album. I regard Rubber Soul as being the beginning of the middle age of the Beatles. Most people talk about the pre-Sgt. Pepper era and the post-Sgt. Pepper era, but to me, the transition from I Feel Fine to Sgt. Pepper was very gradual, and this is a step along the way. It's a step up from Help the album, not the movie, but it's not that abrupt of a change. It's a little bit of a change. It's enough of a change that I'd say this is the beginning of an era that continues through Revolver, Sgt. Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour, but not that huge of a step. So anyway, it's really good. I somehow managed to miss this in the 70s when I was first getting into the Beatles, and when I discovered it about 20 years ago now, I was really shocked at all the great songs in here I had never heard before. So check it out.